Hello everybody and welcome to Big Elephant Plans. This is Lisa and today I'm going to be answering one of the biggest questions I see about the Plum Paper planners, and that is which pens work best. So I'm going to show you, I actually have 3 new pens here today to do a pen test. I've never included these in a pen test video before. So these are 3 new sets of pens, as well as my favorite, which I for some reason did not include these in the last pen test either. So I will be showing you how these work on the Plum Paper Planner Paper. So I'm going to move these to the side. I got these on Amazon. I'm going to have a link to it in the description box. But I'm going to talk a minute about the paper. So I really love, so this is just a sheet from the large 8.5 by 11 paper. It's their dot grid. I don't know, you can see the dots are pretty light. They're just a really light gray, and this is their standard 8.5 by 11 paper. It's a really smooth paper. It's not textured the way that an Erin Condren planner is, or a lot of other planners on the market. It's really, really smooth. And so a lot of people wonder, what pens should we use? Which pens work the best? And so I'm going to share with you one of my favorites, and then we're going to try a couple of new ones. So the first one is the Pentel Energel, and I have this in 3 different tips. So this one is the 0.3, this one is the 0.5, and this one is the 0.7. They're all the Needletip, and they're really my favorite. I don't use the 0.3 a lot because my handwriting doesn't look as neat in the 0.3, but I'm going to start with that one and show you that one first. Let's see. I want to make sure y'all can see this. So this is great if you want to write a lot in a little space. I will use this one if I'm working on a major to-do list, and I'm going to write several of them in I'm going to write so what I'll do is write really small. So this is my to-do list. I'm going to write all of my list out really small so that I can get as much into that space as possible. So then, so I'll use this 0.3 because it writes really fine. I have heard some people say, you know, it's not smooth, but if you slow down your writing, it's gonna come out a little bit different. So see the way it's just slightly darker than this one. It's just because I slowed it down. So if I write just a little bit slower and take my time with it, it's going to come out a lot better. All right, the next is going to be the 0.5. So this is the one that I use every single day in my planner. This is by far my favorite. I don't really need to slow down with this one. It's really smooth on this paper. And it's a nice bold line. If I want a bolder line, like in a heading or something, I'm going to use this one. If you write really big, this is also an excellent option. If you look at this, there is no way I would be able to write small with this tip. That's the 0.7. If I tried to make that same to-do list, it does work out. Probably not if I wasn't writing in all caps. All right, so next I'm going to show you the back. There is absolutely no ghosting with the 0.3. There's ever so slight ghosting with the 0.5. It's not enough to bother me. And then there's a little bit of ghosting with the 0.7. So usually if I'm writing with the 0.7, it's going to be on top of a sticker. So that's not going to show through. If I lift the page, you can probably see through it just a little bit better right here. But there's very, very minimal ghosting with the 0.5. So that's my favorite. That's the one I use all the time. It does not have a huge color selection. I think right now the main color options in the 0.5, this one's a 0.7. I think the main color options in the 0.5 are going to be the blue, green, red, purple, and black. If y'all have seen it in other colors, please let me know, because I love using all the colors. And so I really would like to find more colors in that pen. The next set I'm going to show you is, I'm not going to show you all of them, but I do want to do a bit of a comparison with these. These are the PaperMate Flair Ultra Fine. Let's see. Okay, the Ultra Fine. That is different than your standard PaperMate Flair. I'm sure you've noticed all of these, the color is only on the caps. Your standard PaperMate Flair, the color is on the entire pen. Since I pulled out this little plum color, I'm going to show you, I think this is the same color, maybe. If not, it's a comparable color in the Ultrafine. So I'm going to show you how both of these work out on the plum paper. You know what? I'm going to show you in the orange also, because sometimes lighter colors don't show the same as darker colors. So there are some pens, they don't ghost in the light colors, but they do ghost in the dark colors. So I'm going to show you these two. So this is the PaperMate Flair Ultrafine. The PaperMate Flair Ultrafine, as far as I know, is not available in quite as many colors as the PaperMate Flair. I haven't seen like your major themed sets, like there's a candy one, there's a retro one, there's a Surf's Up one, I think, in the standard PaperMate Flair, but I haven't seen those in the Ultrafine. And the PaperMate Flair, this one tends to write more like a marker. I don't know, for lack of a better word, it's more like a marker. They both write really smooth on this paper. And this is another one of my favorites for writing in my planner. All right, so as you can see, I wrote from here to here, so there's not really any ghosting at all in the Ultrafine Orange. There's a slight bit of ghosting in the regular orange, as well as in the purples, or in the plum colors, but it's really so very light that it's not even anything that I would consider to worry about. Also, I am a bit heavy-handed. I'm sure you can probably tell. I I'm not as light as some people. I'm not as heavy as some people too. If I were to write really heavy with this purple, like I'm really pushing down. I don't want to destroy my tip, but I am pushing down with this one. If I were to flip that over, you would probably see a little bit more ghosting. So you do just see a slight bit more ghosting. I can definitely tell where that line is. So that right there is where I wrote with a really heavy hand. So again, PaperMate Flair is one of my favorites to use in the plum paper. Next, we're gonna do I just heard about these. I don't know if they're new. I really don't know anything about them at all. But I heard about them and I was like, ooh, new pens. I need new pens. So I ordered these, I don't know, last week, maybe the week before, because I knew that I had a pen test coming up and I thought, you know what, let's try these out. So they're the Pilot G-Tec C, and it's a 0.4 millimeter ultra fine point. I generally love Pilot pens. Oh, good. It tells you to replace the cap after each use. So I generally love Pilot pens. So I think I'm going to like these. But I'm going to use all the colors in these because they do have so many gorgeous colors. And I'm interested to see what they look like. So we're just going to start. I also like how they put them in rainbow order. Wow, that is a really fine tip. Okay, y'all. Can you see that? That is so fine. I don't even know if, see, it says always replace cap after each use. It's on every single pen, and I guess it's showing you to push the cap down. I don't know, that's funny. I'm kind of scared to write with it. I don't know if it's how it's gonna start because it's literally right out of the package. So let's just see. This is the Pilot. Wow, that is really nice. G-Tec. C. 0.4 millimeter. So that is really, really smooth. I like that so much better than the Pentel Energel 0.3 millimeter. I don't know if I like it better than the 0.5, but man, that is nice. I feel like I can feel the tip bending slightly as I push on it, which has me concerned that I'm going to break it. I don't know if you can see. I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the tip's just bending ever so slightly. So these are ready to go right out of the package. There's nothing covering the tip like the way that the Zebra Sarasa has like a little pink bit of wax or plastic covering the tip. Okay, that one did not work. Oh, there we go. And these don't need any encouragement to write. I'm not having to scribble on the side of the paper to get them started. So I really like these, and I like the package they're in. It's like a flexible clear plastic. Now, my general preference is for clicky pens. I like clicky pens because they are ready to go. It's very one-handed. You can write if, you know, you're on the go and you've got something, you know, you're holding things or whatever, but man, I like these pens. And I could obviously get really small with writing when I'm using these. I could definitely write so much smaller than what I'm writing right now. I love these colors. They're so vibrant. You know, sometimes you get pens and the colors are just not as bright as what you want them to be, or they look like they would be a different color from what they are. But these are great. I think my PaperMate, I think the PaperMate Inkjoy, for some reason they are sometimes not the same color that I think they're going to be based on the color on the outside. But these are right on. That's a nice dark blue. I like how they have two different shades of blue. So they have a deep blue and a royal blue. So that is the Pilot G-Tec 0.4 Ultra Fine Point. And it closes with this little strap right here. And that's all you need. It had a little sticker. I pulled it off. All right, so for ghosting, there is absolutely no ghosting until you get down to this last one. I think, yep, that is the last one. So until you get to the black, there is absolutely no ghosting at all whatsoever with any of the colors. So similarly to the Pentel 0.3, with that Pilot G-Tec 0.4, there's no ghosting until you get to the black, and then there's slight ghosting. It's not even as much as there was with the Pentel Energel 0.5, so it's nothing that I would ever be concerned about as far as plum paper goes. This is a nice thick paper. If you're not using quality paper, I don't know, but for your plum paper planner, these are an awesome choice. All right, next up we have the Tool pen. This is the GL series gel ink retractable. Like I said, I really like retractable pens, and it's the 0.7 Brights. There's 14 pens in this set, and they're all different colors. We're gonna do all the colors this time too. They do have a little plastic cap that I'll have to take off of each one of them. And let's see how they start off. So this is, again, first time, never used it, never opened it. And this is the 0.7 medium tip. So I really like it for a 0.7. It is very smooth. I'm expecting to see some amount of ghosting in here just because it is a 0.7 tip. The best pens, really, in my opinion, for the plum paper is going to be, a 0.5 or less. I really like that this has yellow. So many pens don't have yellow. I know PaperMate Inkjoy has yellow. Actually, the Zebra Sarasa has yellow. Friction, I think, might have added a yellow this year. Y'all let me know if Friction added a yellow. I know that they changed some of their colors around, so I haven't tried out their new colors. But I like that they have yellow because it kind of throws off the rainbow when there's no yellow. And I love writing in rainbow. These are exactly as smooth on this paper as you would expect a 0.7 tip to be. I love this color. Like I said, I do tend to write a little bit hard. I'm not as light as I could be with these. Let's see. Maybe what I'll do on this one, I will write normally, and then right next to it, I'm going to write really light. Let's see. To prepare myself to write light. Okay, so that is what I would consider to be light writing. I really just barely touch the paper. Another thing that I like about the quality of Plum paper is, even though I write heavy, with most pens, you don't even see the texture on the back side. It's just, you know, some pens I have noticed a texture, like, I can't even think of what it is because I stopped using it. But there was a pen that I did notice that you could kind of tell where I'd put pressure on the paper. But there's not really a lot that do that way. I like also that this one includes brown. You don't get a lot of browns either in a lot of sets. I think PaperMate Inkjoy has a brown. And there's the black right there. So in comparison to the Pentel Energel black, here's the tool. So these are both 0.7. Okay. So I'm going to show you how that did on the back side. Wow. Okay, so that is a little bit better than I had actually expected. There is quite a bit of ghosting, not so much in the lighter colors, but there is in the darker colors. I was really, for how smoothly that was going down, I was expecting it to be a lot worse. So there is not a lot of ghosting in those. There's definitely no texture. I cannot see where my pen physically touched. I can see a little bit where I wrote lighter. And that doesn't bother me. Really, this doesn't bother me either. For the variety that I got in the colors, if I wanted a bolder text, I would definitely use those. But I think the Pilot G-Tec C is probably going to be my go-to pen in the future for colored pens in my Plum Paper Planner. So, just to recap, this is the Tool Gel ink. It's great if you want a thicker, bolder line. It does ghost just a little bit in the Plum paper, not enough to really make a difference, especially if you're planning on writing on the other side. By the time you've written on both sides, you will never notice it. This is the Pilot G-Tec C, great fine line with a really awesome selection of colors. And then my Pentel Energels, always a go-to for me. I love them so much. And then of course always the wonderful standbys of the PaperMate Flair. They're all awesome selections for the Plum Paper Planner. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see content we have coming in the future, hit that subscribe button. My next pen video is going to be a smear test. So we're going to see how all of these pens, as well as the PaperMate Inkjoy and the friction pens and the Zebra Sarasa pens, how they do as far as as far as smearing on the Plum Paper Planner paper. I don't really have a problem with it. I'm left-handed and I do not have any of the left-handed marks on my hand, but do look out for that video because it is coming up. And until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.